Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Chiween. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm chilling right now. What about you?
I'm doing good. You know, it's funny. Like it's called the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast, and we do drink coffee while we discuss Dragon Ball related topics, but we never give a coffee like a coffee check. Like, what is it that we're drinking? So I wanted to know.
Correct.
I wanted to delve into the coffee bean world. I want to ask Cheween, what's in your cup, dude? And your warm cup of love. What is it?
Well, interestingly enough, I don't drink the highest grade of coffee, so I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'm drinking Folgers right now, so it's the taste of Folgers, and then I was having a donut, and the donut fell into the coffee. So right now, the coffee, a big donut in it. So that is what is in my coffee right now.
Are you the type that dips your like pastry into the coffee?
And then, yeah, apparently that's bad etiquette, though. I didn't know that. Oh. Yeah, apparently, but that is not that. I never got the message, so yeah, I've been doing it for years, and
I did my cookies in there, like Oreos and stuff, dude.
Oh yeah, smacking. That's underrated.
It is, underrated.
My wife looked at me crazy when I put my Oreos in there. But
nah, man, that's the way.
What about you?
Yeah, you know, I got the standard in standard Kirkland, a little bit of that Costco brand.
Mm-hmm.
The Kirkland Pacific Bold. You know,
I give it a Costco, man. They're consistent.
They are. They're consistent.
They're consistent. That's consistency right there.
They might not blow it out the water, but they're never gonna deliver a garbage product.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So right now I'm doing, but I might change it up for next week. I got a few things up in my locker.
Okay.
I got a few.
You like different coffees, huh?
I do. Yeah, and I actually drink it black. You know.
Me too.
Oh, you do too? Mm-hmm. I like tasting the bean, dude. It's funny, like
she said. The maturity.
Nah, you know, it's funny, like obviously you have Guatemalan and Salvadorian. I'm Salvadorian, but so they're like Central America was like big on beans, you know, like coffee bean. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like, as well as like South America, obviously, I feel like we should be coffee bean savants. You know what I'm saying?
We should. Well, considering the fact that like hell of us start drinking coffee at like the age of like 5. I remember one of our tias, like when I went over there for the first time, I was 13 to El Salvador, and she looked at me like I was crazy that I hadn't drank any coffee yet.
Right.
And she's like, "What?
Why would
like, there's little kids here that are already drinking full cups of coffee here."
Yeah, dude. That's how it is. And over here, just drinking milk and stuff when we're 13.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a milk drinker?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
I still am. Yeah,
oh, okay. I love milk, yeah. Dude, there are some people that love milk. That boy we had, the guest we had a few weeks ago, dude, he could drink a gallon of milk. It was nuts, man. My brother,
it's like it's water.
Like it's water, dude. He'd do that with a lot of things, but yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not a big milk guy myself. It's good. I'm not like, I don't go crazy for it though.
Yeah. Oh, many of us are probably lactose intolerant, and we're just in denial.
We don't know it. Yeah.
I think that's just the hard reality of things.
Because some people get messed up. Let me tell you, dude. Some people get messed up with dairy.
Oh yeah.
That system will get destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I know. There are certain things that I can't eat because it just annihilates me. But it's good though. You know.
It tastes good. Yeah. You're willing to take
it for the team.
Yeah. Just for that immediate satisfaction. But yeah, man, nah, I've been good. You know, baby registry stuff. Okay, getting that done. Okay. It's like we're getting close, so we want to finish it and get it out. And then it's like you don't want to. I don't know. We want to have a bunch of stuff on there, but not too much that it feels like, what the hell? They want us to buy everything for them. But then also, we want to have stuff that's like a range. You know, you got like your inexpensive and your moderately expensive, and then maybe the car seat and the and the stroller.
The big stuff.
Yeah. So there's a range certainly.
Which someone's bound to buy. So let's tell you that right now.
The what?
Someone's bound to buy it.
What? Yeah.
The big ones.
Yeah. You would know better than I would.
Well, you know, I had the same dilemma because what I, you know, we don't come from wealthy families. It's just the reality of it, right? So then there's this piece of like, oh, I feel bad, you know, asking people to buy things for me, blah blah blah, and like, you know, my wife and I have very different upbringings, right? Like I grew up in a different environment. So to her, it was just like, well, no, you put it on there. You put it on there so that people buy it, and like that is the practice. It is a gift that they're giving you, and you shouldn't feel bad about it because that is what we do. We support each other as a community. And to me, I'm like, oh God, I feel bad, you know, asking my tias to like spend like $70 on this thing. But then there comes a point where it's just like, well, you know what, dude? They don't have to buy it.
Yeah, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? It's just there. And if you buy it for us, then, you know, we're very grateful. But there is a piece there of like, you know, it's not everybody can have a price range if they wanted to. But I definitely encourage even our listeners too, if you're in the same position too, you know, that don't let the guilt, you know, stop from actually getting what is it that you need, because you might actually need it, and that like extra little voice may stop it for no reason.
And one thing I notice is like people will like they'll like a group of people will buy one item if it's very expensive, you know what I'm saying? They'll all put money in, like pitch money in to buy an item. So that's pretty cool. Like my fiance's co-workers, they're pitching in, I think for the stroller. So they're all gonna put money in and they'll buy that. But yeah, man, that's kind of the thing. You know, you don't want to come across as like, I'm putting too much, I'm putting stuff that's too expensive, like I don't want to be that guy. But then like, you know, I don't want to not put it on there if we actually need it, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, just put it on there, and if somebody buys it, somebody buys it.
Yeah, if somebody
that's
does
what I'm saying. I'm like, somebody's gonna buy it for you, because that's what we felt too. Of like, oh, you know, this thing's too expensive, and then somebody bought it. It's okay, dope. We got the thing that we really wanted, and we felt bad about putting it on there.
Yeah, for sure. We're almost done with it, but we have put it on there. But man, dude, I'm ready for fatherhood, dude. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie.
Excited. Well, you sound excited. Man. That's dope.
Yeah. But yeah, man, you before we jump into the Dragon Ball discussion, you know, I know you have a baby on the way also. Very close to the due date's very close to mine. You guys doing the baby shower and registry, all that stuff?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is the second time around kind of like, let's just get it over with?
I think, well, I mean, because of the situation we're in, right? We're in the global pandemic. If you're listening to this, you know, couple months ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Couple months ahead, we're recording this during like the pandemic, you know, so it's very limited as to what we can do. And you know, having a party like that to me just seems more risky than it needs to be. And in regards to registry, because we had our son, we don't necessarily need that many things.
That's true.
So I mean, I don't know, I'm sure that there'll be something, but I don't right now. We haven't really talked about it just because it's not really at the forefront of our mind right now in regards to our second one.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. How's your wife doing?
She's doing good. She's having a little bit more back pain though.
Oh,
she's feeling a little bit more. I think that's always the crazy part about, you know, birth. It's such a big event in just in life, and you're bringing something from the universe in here, and like there's a belief that they choose us, right, as their parents. There is that belief that they choose us as their parents. But like, it's always really crazy to me that like we're very fortunate as men in many ways that we don't have to endure that pain. Like, because I don't think that we would be able to handle it. And I think that's why we didn't do it. I don't think that that's why we got that. Yeah, because I don't think we're cut for that. Because that shit looks painful as hell. It looks painful.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm gonna experience it too. Luckily, my fiance has been pretty smooth sailing, but she's feeling like a few contractions now. Nothing major, but like from time to time. But it's been smooth sailing. But yeah, dude, it's vicious. That's why I told her, like, listen, you can pick out the name. Like, before she was pregnant, we would think of names together. Once she got pregnant, I was like, you can pick out the name. You earned that. Like,
you've earned it.
Yeah, you've earned that, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's jump into this. Let's jump into the movie. I know we watched Cooler's Revenge, Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. Give me a word. Give me one word that you would use to summarize this movie, your movie experience watching this.
I would say my word would be Piccolo.
Okay, interesting. I would say it's How, aka How Sway. Okay, we'll get into mine in a little bit, but okay, you brought Piccolo up, and actually, yeah, that's an interesting point. That was one of the talking points I had. But why do you say Piccolo?
Because that's the boy, man. Piccolo. This is the best appearance this man has had in ages for me. It was so refreshing and exciting to see my guy just doing his thing out there, man. I think to me, he stole the show, in my opinion. So I love the way he came out in here. He did the Warrior's death that we talked about. He fought and he like took out two of the goons. I mean, he didn't do shit against Cooler, but
he got exactly.
He got decimated. But you know what? Before that, he had to me the best part of the film. Like he stole the show. I mean, he did the same shit that he always does in regards to saving Gohan, but like,
right,
man, my guy, he stole the show. The only shining star, in my opinion, of this film. So
this is the best. This is the best version of Piccolo.
Oh yeah, no, this is the reason that I like. This is the reason why I love Piccolo. Piccolo is one of my favorite characters. He still is, but and that's why I feel so passionate whenever I see him
to just be relegated to the babysitter,
to what he's become now. So just seeing him in this movie just reminded me of like my guy right there, dude. This is why right here. This is why.
I agree.
He's such a badass. Like he's just he comes in, he's not talking much. He's just like, I'm gonna kick ass, and then that's it. Yeah. Kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, that's the name of Piccolo's game. At least in this movie. And it's funny. Like I think we can say it. The story wasn't ridiculous. Like we can get that out there. Although I did kind of for the story not being ridiculous, it was the same cut as like Fusion 13 or whatever. I already forgot the name of that movie. But a better version of that movie. Because it kind of does follow that template, of like the whole, I mean, everything's leading up to a big battle, but in this one, there's really no story there. It's kind of like almost feels like a filler episode where Gohan, I like that, Goku, Gohan, and the squad is going out to camp. That's kind of funny because like you never see that, and like they're really just going out to camp. You think they're going out to train and stuff. And you see some kind of things that you don't see in Dragon Ball, where it's like, it's nice, kind of like a little slice of life type of thing. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, so my biggest thing, the reason why I said how, for two reasons, but the main one is, all right, we can't beat around the bush. Cooler got decimated at the end.
Yeah.
He got fried. All right, and we're gonna watch Cooler's Revenge after this.
Mhm.
But my question is, it doesn't look like there could be a sequel, given how that man took that blast to the body. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
for sure. Yeah.
That fool was decimated, literally like he was getting fried. And then the other one was okay, like how was Goku destroyed by that blast that Cooler gave him? It was literally one blast to the back, wasn't it?
I
Like,
think that was like his special move, though. That was his like. That's what there had been saying of like no one that ever survived his death
oh,
beam.
okay, okay,
So it was like his special move. It was like his, that's the big thing in artillery.
okay. I still don't accept it, but I mean, okay. I mean, it makes a little more sense now. But
Yeah. Yeah, I
dude,
mean, Goku's also weaker at this point, right? He's not like
yeah, that's
he's
true.
not
He's
the
weaker, but
animal
the
he is
man was
now.
put. Yeah, I mean, the man was put on the like on his ass, dude, for the whole movie. And then of course we
Yeah.
know he's gonna. But we'll get to. I'll expand on that a little bit later. But how were you? How'd you feel about like the introduction of Cooler, and then kind of the whole Cooler and Frieza dynamic with the lineage of evil, the Cooler family or the Frieza family, whatever. How'd you feel
Yeah.
about all of that?
I so I didn't think it was horrible. I don't think it was horrible. I liked some things that they did, which was, they gave us a little bit of flashbacks of, when Bardock and he's watching it. Really begs the
Yeah.
question of how does Cooler have that footage? I mean, especially from the sane point of view. I'm like, how do you have that footage? Does he have a camera guy there?
Yeah.
So there's that part that I was like, okay, I'm gonna overlook that. I did
Right.
like the color hue change. I thought that was an interesting choice by the director. I think it was just to set a different tone for Cooler. So I didn't think it was horrible. Where I got confused though was the trying to like weave in this story within the story that already exists, and to me that is what kind of confused me in the beginning, because like, how old is Goku? When does this take place? Because it seems to me then that like Cooler's trying to get revenge a couple of years after Frieza died then, because it's not like it, and they don't really say that. It's almost like they're almost implying that it's happening right after Frieza
dies, right?
Yeah, I guess dies, but I don't know. That was confusing to me, because then it's like, well, then why were you showing the Bardock scenes then? So that is kind of what confused me a little bit about it, and that was pretty much it. I thought the camping was funny. I laughed when he said that he got the little fish.
Yeah. That little ass fish. I like how he had it like this, held up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that thing would flap down if he was grabbing it by the tail, and it was held upright. I'm like, dude, okay, get that real animation out of here. But yeah.
And the last thing that I'll add to the introduction of the film, or like the first part of the film, which was like, they keep doing this. I think this is just part of the formula, and I wrote it here in my notes of like, it's happening.
Okay.
It's happening. They're turning too fast. It's like where they do this, like they're like doing something, and then all of a sudden the music just goes, doom, and then like they look back, and they send something all the way like fucking like a million miles away, and they're just like, what is coming right now? And then like they do it in every freaking film. I feel like that's the way they introduce the villain.
Where the senses kick in. Yeah, that's how the villains arrive.
Yeah, we saw it with Lord Slug. We saw it with freaking the androids. We saw it with like a bunch of other freaking like antagonists. So they don't really stray away from the formula. So that's kind of my version of the introduction. So
yeah. I mean, the whole Cooler, that definitely like, all right, this is all what I'm getting. These are the vibes, right? I'm talking to you about vibes. That's what I look for when I'm watching a film. And definitely this was all right. I bet you at the like director's table they were probably like, we probably should have thought about this before we came up with the Frieza arc, but Frieza's dead now, so somehow we have to weave this character in to Frieza's life. And I also got confused because it's like, where's Vegeta? Like, so Goku's back from
Planet Namek.
Planet Namek, and that planet that he trained in, you know, where he learned instant transmission, but he doesn't use instant transmission, right? And then like when he comes back from that planet and he knows instant transmission and he fights Trunks with the like finger, with the one finger, his power level is insane, but he's like on the verge of like having that heart disease. So to me, yeah, the placing of this film just was a little off, but maybe Cooler's return, Cooler's return will like clear up some of the questions I had, because I know Vegeta's in that one and I know he goes Super Saiyan. But yeah, I was also kind of like, wait, okay, Goku's attire looks like pre-Namek or Namek, you know, where he's got the belt instead of the what's it called, the sash.
Gohan looks different too.
Gohan looks super young. But you know, yeah, I thought like the film overall was like vanilla, you know. It wasn't, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think it was trash. And which is funny because I said this is kind of like a better version of Fusion 13 or Android 13. But it was like that type of movie. This is like the Lord Slug, you know, type of movie. Like, it's just, there's no storyline there, really. I mean, I guess the story is Cooler trying to avenge. I guess there is a storyline, but the story is just super weak, in my opinion.
Yeah, super thin.
Yeah, exactly.
Super thin.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Cooler, cool character. They made him look cool. I think he's kind of an interesting contrast to Frieza, because Frieza's so arrogant, so cocky, so and he has a humor to him where like Cooler's more serious, you know.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of bland, to be honest with you. I thought he was kind of bland. I think this is a perfect example of an antagonist that they just kind of put up there because they need somebody to fight, and they're not gonna build him up to really create depth. There's no depth to Cooler. It's just like, I want to revenge my brother, but why? If you hate your brother, I don't understand. And it's just because he doesn't want to look bad, I guess. And that's
solely the name of their family.
Yeah, and to me, that's not a. I get it, but it's not really made clear. He's not on the screen enough to me to justify that, like, that animosity, or like that, like wanting that, like that name, like, you know, to be held with high regard. He doesn't even carry himself with that. Like, he almost carries himself very nonchalant about his name. So
he doesn't jump off the screen. Yeah, like jump out the screen.
Yeah, he doesn't jump out the screen to say like, I'm proud to be this, like, you know, from the Frieza family or whatever the hell they're called. He doesn't jump out as that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be different if he walks around like he's the king, or he walks around with like with a bunch of goons with him. He only has 3 goons with him. So I'm like, what?
And a French, one of them is French.
One of them, it sounds like Jean-Claude Van Damme, dude. I'm like, who is this guy? So like, his crew is hella small. I thought it was hella funny in the opening scenes when we first see him, where they're just chilling when they're simultaneously they're camping, and simultaneously it looks like they're camping as well, like Cooler and his boys.
I didn't even realize that.
And what I thought was funny though was the fact that they're just chilling there, and it's like, it looks like it's 1,000 miles per hour wind, and they're just
and they're just standing, they're just chilling there.
They're just chilling,
and it looks like a hurricane level 6 is about to hit.
And they're just talking. I'm like, oh,
this is normal. And then like, okay, so I can see why you say that. To me, Cooler, it was just like he was meant to be the more serious one. You know, like that's how he came across to me. He wasn't colorful for sure. Like even if we look at Lord Slug, like Lord Slug was more interesting than this man. Even Android 13 was more interesting than this man. He had a
Okay,
little.
no, wait, hold on. I'm gonna pump
He
the
did,
brakes right
bro.
there. No, it was
He
no
did.
way.
He had
No
more
way.
swag, bro. He came out with the
No
swag,
way.
dog. Come on, dude.
No way. There's no way that you're gonna tell me Lord Slug and 13 are more interesting than Cooler.
Yeah, dude.
No.
They are, bro.
I gotta disagree with you on that one. I gotta disagree with you.
Nah, they are, dude. But what I was gonna get to, like, okay, like you could think Cooler was bland. I thought he was serious. The other thing is, like, they had that, like, they had the one shoulder pad, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it was just the armor was just one, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right, is this a fashion statement, or is this like, is this just is this actually going to help in combat? You know what I'm saying? I think like at the time they were running out of ideas. They wanted to make it look different because, you know, they didn't want to keep using those shoulder pads. So they just decided, let's just give them one. But that kept bugging me, dude. I was like, all right, dude, this is clearly not for aesthetics because it's not a fashion statement. And I don't think that it's for battle and enhancing like movement. You know what I'm saying? So you know, the whole Cooler thing, I thought, like, you know, he was all right to me. He wasn't like anything, like I said, colorful. He wasn't great. Like he pales in comparison to Frieza, but of course, you know, Frieza, they've taken time to develop him. Cooler's just like a shoo-in. And then the other guys, like what's his name? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name. Bowser.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
That's his that's the main goon, the French guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they're just like a wannabe Ginyu Force. I think
exactly.
that's kind of what kind of irked me about him, is just like the one shoulder pad, sure, but like, and this is the problem with Cooler, I feel like, is that he's just not different. Even just because he looks different, he does all the same stuff at a worse level than Frieza in regards to his henchmen and the way that he moves. Like, he just doesn't, there's no originality to Cooler in many ways. So even in his goons, you know what I'm saying? In his goons, like,
that's true.
Yeah, they got one shoulder pads, but they're doing the poses as the Ginyu Force. And
that's true.
They may not be as goofy, but like they're not their own characters. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if they were. It would be different if they're like the Ginyu Force, but they had a different set of things. You know, like the Ginyu Force's poses and like their dances and all that stuff. Like
to them.
That's their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what's your Ginyu Force do? You know,
this is
and I don't think that they submitted that.
This is like that. You know, me, Mom, can we have the Ginyu Force? Mm-hmm. Mom says, we have the Ginyu Force at home.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ginyu Force at home.
Mm-hmm.
They show Cooler Squad. You know, yeah. It was. I didn't even think about. I mean, when I saw them do the poses, that was exactly what came to mind. But I didn't write that down as a talking point. But it's true. Like at that moment, I thought that, like, Jesus Christ, this is unimaginative. You know, trying to strike a pose. This it doesn't look like this team has any relation to the Ginyu Force. I could be wrong. But Cooler and Frieza are operating in two separate like areas of the universe, right? So it's not like, I don't see how they can like coincide or know each other. But yeah, the squad was, they tried to add a little spice with the French dude. I keep going back to him, Bowser. But I was like, it wasn't hitting for me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like their style, but to me, they were the real antagonists in my opinion, because
more so than Cooler.
We really rarely get to see Cooler in the film.
Yeah, partly because what they tried to do was like make sure Cooler didn't mess with the Krillins and the Gohans, because he would just finish them off. They wanted to save him for Goku. and in doing so, the henchmen the squad gets more screen time. But we have to make a shout out, dude. I was gonna save this for later, but this can wait no more. Again, this man proves to be the hero.
I already know where you're going,
You know
man. This is the real hero of the film.
This is the real hero of this series, bro. Okay, and this is the reason why we've named this podcast what we've named it, and why there's a petition to make this man the face of the show. All right,
franchise.
Yeah,
the franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Franchise player.
Like, yeah, Jarobi, dude.
Once again,
Hit
the soundboard.
Yeah. Yay. No. Okay, so when Gohan goes up, I don't know why he didn't fly up. I guess it's so that they wouldn't sense his power.
Yeah, I love that part of the film, though. That to me is my favorite part of the film.
Okay.
That middle section is really good.
Yeah, when he's with Icarus.
When he's with Icarus, like that whole like setup of like they got to keep their power low. It really like even Krillin struggling to move the rocks, which is ridiculous. The fact that this was moving. I'm telling you, man, Krillin, the best human we got.
Yeah, but, I mean, and he had.
I thought it was creative. That they had to lower their power, and he had to like kind of like sneak out, which I thought was a fun little addition to the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
never get to see my guy up there, you know.
Yeah, of course, dude. And so, but that was what I was gonna get to. Like, Gohan gets up there, Korin's playing games with them, and Gohan's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave," and all of a sudden, you hear it and you see it. This bag of sensu being thrown, dude, and you already know who it is, dude. You don't even have to like. You don't even have. They don't have to show the man on screen. You know who threw that, dude.
Of course.
Literally, that fool shows up at the most random times, dude.
like why is he up there?
Yeah. How did he get up there in the first place, dude? That is a little ass climb, and the man doesn't exactly look like. You know, he's not built like the other warriors in this series.
Yeah.
Which is partly why I like him, you know, because he doesn't look like Goku when he had his shirt ripped off and stuff. He looks very different, right? But then he's got the swag. He had the one leg up. I don't know if you saw him.
I did not see that.
He had the one leg up. Yeah, it was all swagged out with this. He's got the blade on him in case anyone wants it, even though he's up there. But he's just man, he's such a redeeming like character, and I think this is what Akira Toriyama did really well. Like that's kind of that I don't know if it gets enough credit. I personally like. I think where Akira struggled the most, in my opinion, has been with like antagonists. I think Frieza's been his best one for sure. But then I think like Rose, Goku Black, like I know he's become very popular, but it's just a Goku that's bad, right? Like, and if you take a step back and you look at the whole picture, it's just a Goku that's bad, right? Like Jiren, you talked about Jiren, like his story was butt cheeks.
Yeah.
You know,
probably the worst villain.
Right.
Probably the worst villain that Dragon Ball Z has ever come out with.
Yeah.
And, I stand by that. I don't care how good he is.
Excluding the movies, though, bro. You can't say we haven't watched all the movies. You can't say that. We haven't watched all the movies. You gotta wait till we.
Look, dude, I'm telling you that right now. Like, I thought Fusion 13 had more charisma. There was at least a redeeming quality about that. No, Jiren is he was just horrible. I don't care how
OP he is, how popular.
Yeah, how popular he is in Legends and anything else. Like,
yeah, he has a terrible, like, such a generic backstory. Like, all right, dude, like, shows no emotion. I think he's the cooler, like, maxed out. You know, like cooler. They try to come out as bland and like no emotion, and it doesn't hit like that. Just it has to be done so well for it to really resonate. Because the villains, normally for them to really like satisfy in the Dragon Ball world, they have to have a little bit of like spice to them. Frieza, Cell's got a little bit of lip on them.
Yeah,
and
there's a little bit of charm. There's a little bit of there's a little bit of something there, you know, a little
Yeah.
sauce,
Exactly.
you know,
Because if
they
not,
put
this
a little
just
spice in there.
yeah, it's just vanilla. Um,
Well, it's not
but
even vanilla. It's just like just straight up, just bland. Like there's not
yeah,
even no
it's
taste.
tasteless.
Like it's
It's
like
like you got
tasteless.
COVID, right?
Yeah, dude, you're just not. There's nothing there. And I think I wrote it in my notes. I'm like, there's something about Cooler that's missing, and I don't
Mm,
know really what it is.
mm, mm.
There's something missing about him.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No. Not. I see that. We'll see if Cooler's return like builds on that. All right.
Mhm.
If I was a betting man, I'd probably say no. I haven't.
Yeah,
I watched the movie when I was like 13 years old, so or like 14 or something. So it's been a long time.
yeah,
Um, we'll see how it's changed. But what I was trying to say is like these side characters, man. I feel like some of these side characters are gold, and maybe the lack of screen time is what makes them so redeeming. But and I mean the real side characters, not like Piccolo side character. You know
no,
what I'm
you're talking
saying?
about like the Jaco and
Yeah, exactly.
Yajirobis
Yeah,
and
Jirobe and the Oolong, you know what I'm saying?
the Pilafs.
Pilafs, right? Like
Yeah.
these, they're like, I like these guys because they have their very obvious limitations. They're just like even though they're not necessarily all human, but they're like us living in that world. Because let's be real, dude. 99.99999% of the human population isn't going to see Cooler and be like, okay, I'm running to go defeat him.
Yeah.
We're going to see how we can hide. And like the approach that like Goku and Vegeta, all of them have, like that's not relatable, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
so these dudes, they're like that. They hide around the Hercules, you know, like I think
The
that's what makes
Hercules. Yeah.
Hercules. And Hercule, he takes it a step further, and he to the normal, or not to the normal, but to society, he's looked at as this great hero, but in reality he's like he's a coward, right?
Mhm.
um and so, which is maybe a foil in like not a foil, but like a symbolic of like real life. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do or whatever, but like not
Yeah.
everything is what it seems type of thing.
Yeah.
um
Nah, yeah, that's great.
yeah, so
Yeah.
but you know, I love these side characters, dude. I love Yajirobe. I feel like every time he comes on the screen, it puts a smile on my face because I'm like, there he is again, dude. He shows up for literally shows up for 15 seconds, 30 seconds max, but he's there to fill a purpose, and he gets his job done, dude. He's that guy on the team that you know you can rely on to get the job done.
I
We're
thought
like,
it was so funny that he gives the kid the pouch, and then like the kid's about to jump off. He's like, thanks, and then he's like, hey kid.
and
He's
throws
like,
him the other one.
throws it. I'm like, why did you just throw? You just gave him a pouch, dude.
Why
Hey,
didn't you just put it? But when I saw that, dude, I was like, I know this one's gonna. I know this means something. There's a reason. I know they tried to make it subtle, like he just threw him an extra one, but I knew there was gonna be like a reason why that happened. But you know, yeah, Jirobe, he's always he's a stud. Like every time he shows up, it's gonna be a great appearance. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he
it makes
fulfills
me want to. I wonder how big of a role he's gonna play in the Dragon Ball movies whenever we get to watch those.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't know, dude. I was just bullshitting you.
Oh, okay. Nice.
We're gonna find out together.
We're gonna find out.
But yeah, he's like the average human being, and his resume is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? So that's my guy. Made a great appearance. But you said you were feeling the that kind of the body, I call it, of the movie. You know, the middle part.
Oh yeah. So I thought the beginning was kind of flimsy, a little bit weak. But the middle part of the film is when you get you get Piccolo fighting, you get Gohan trying to get to the Sensu being, like, I guess, you know, tower, I guess you would say. And those two things, I think, added up to to me, a very satisfying part of the film, where it kind of climaxes where, Gohan gets there and he comes back. He's trying to get back, and he's trying to, Icarus is getting tired, and he gives him a sense of being, and then that somehow raises his power level. Because I think because he got shocked or whatever, he's still a kid, so he got shocked by it, and then Piccolo comes in to save him, but I think this is what is the biggest difference when Piccolo does this in this film, that he saves Gohan, is the fact that Piccolo is able to just handle those three, or those two at least. He's just able to handle them, as opposed to like in Fusion 13 and in other films where he comes in and
just a joke.
his only purpose is just to save the kid, and then that's the end of it. Right, like that's the end of it. He gets no more screen time, or if he does, it's like very little, very minimal, because they got to move to something else. But in this one, they took their time. Like, I love the way like he fought. Like he busted out moves that like I'm like, oh wow, he hasn't busted this shit out in hella long. With the arms.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
And he's like busting out all these like the shock. And, he's like doing all these things that like. It's just really cool to see Piccolo be Piccolo again and just be kind of unhinged. And I love that, like, that silent, like, I don't want to say assassin, but he's just like that silent, like, badass that like he doesn't have to talk. I think that's what, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't talk, but like I would even say like his mentorship should probably be that, where his words are very limited and he's speaking with actions, where he's just like, I'm just gonna whoop you, boy. Like, you talking a lot. Okay, we're about to just do this right now, and you're about to see the noise that you just brought.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he carried himself in this film, and I love that, because I even think that it played a good role. And Gohan, to me, like, I like the role that he played here, like what kind of.
He was almost like the messenger.
It's almost like the messenger, like when he was getting his head, like, like
crushed,
crushed, like. To me, I'm like, oh snap! Like, this is like, like there was actually like some tension there for me, because I'm like, oh snap! Like, this is a little kid that's about to have his freaking head just crushed by this grown adult
like
thing,
caved in.
So that's what made it like there was stakes for Gohan to get caught, and I think that to me is what makes a big difference here. Is that Gohan? We knew that if Gohan didn't make it back with those sensu beans, then this stuff is done. You know? He needed to give back. So when Piccolo saved him, there was actually a purpose to save him, as opposed to just like just a throwaway save. Like, no, there was actually like a piece of like, no, kid, like, still go to your dad. Like, you need to get there, and I'll handle this. And he did handle it. He handled it like a G, handled it like a boss, like the Piccolo I know and love. Bring this man back.
Make Piccolo great again, damn it.
Yeah. Ah, man, it's my guy.
And what a contrast to the Battle of Gods movie, where, I mean, the man showed up in his battle outfit, because you never know when you're gonna have to babysit, because that man's not fighting at that point. He's gonna babysit, but in this one he was good. I agree. And I thought like Lord Slug, he got some love too, of course. Like the way he went out was some soft stuff. It was not it was unbecoming of a character like Piccolo. But in this one, everything was so nice. I agree. And we'll get to the end in a little bit, but I mean, the end was great, I thought. But the one thing I noticed that did stand out to me, since you were talking about this, was I do like how they got creative in this regard with the that sensing of power, right? Like being able to identify where someone is because of the spikes in power. And when you, so here's where I'm getting at with this. When Krillin does like he does something where it like spikes his power just a little bit, like he moves a rock, or I forget exactly what it was, or he does something, right? And Thouser senses that, right? I think it was Thouser who senses the spike in energy. And Krillin even notices, like, shoot, I think they'll find out where we're at because I just kind of exerted energy, right? Yeah. And as they're going to the spot where they think it's at, where they think the energy spike came from, a like pterodactyl goes flying by, right?
Mhm.
And so then he says, "Oh, it was just a stupid animal or whatever," right? So
Yes.
it tells you like those spikes in energy. It's not just power, like power from very powerful people. It can also be like related to animals, right? And
Mhm.
so it makes sense when Icarus gets that sensu beam and he gets that jolt and he just takes off, right? And he's gone,
Yeah.
and they sense it. And I was like, when I saw him, because as soon as Gohan gave him the sensu beam, I'm like, oh, he's home free now.
Mhm.
He's just gonna head on straight to Goku. And then sure enough, here comes here comes uh Icarus's spike in power, and freaking Thouser senses it, and they're able to locate where he's at, and they get to Gohan, and then yeah, Piccolo makes his entrance. Um, but how'd you feel about the main fight, the final fight? What were you what
Well,
were you
the
thinking?
last thing that I add to that last piece you just said though, because I also love that part of the film too. I thought that was my favorite. That was probably one of my favorite parts about the film. I thought that was one of the most original things that they've done. I like the sneaking around. They don't they we rarely see them sneaking around. Like they're
Right.
having to like hide their true like just immense power that they have, and they're doing it to try to get there. And I thought that actually made a very fun part of the
Yeah.
film. It makes it really satisfying when like I said, when Piccolo comes in and when they finally get to Goku, even the way that it leads to Piccolo getting annihilated by Cooler. Like, even though he got handled, like, the last thing about Piccolo, because obviously I really enjoyed Piccolo in this film, is that
Nah, not the last, dude. I'm gonna touch up on him a little later, but go ahead. Go ahead.
he the way that Cooler just handled them is just like it. I mean, it sounds weird, but it was satisfying because it's like, Piccolo just handled his boys, and then Cooler just comes in, and he's just like, that's cute, but I'm gonna just do this to you real quick, and then
You're
he just
gone.
like destroyed him, and just like it adds like a nice level of like, okay, Goku, this is why we need you, buddy. This is why we
Yeah.
need you, and you need to step it up. Um, and it leads to our final part of the film, which is the final fight.
Right.
What I think about the fight was okay in my opinion. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it had some cool moments. I enjoyed the change of pace, change of scenery when they fought underwater. I thought that was a really dope uh change of pace,
Uh-huh.
where they're fighting underwater and they're like, they're adding these different elements. My favorite part of the fight probably is when Cooler goes through the Kamehameha.
Right.
Like, cause I've never seen that move, or I've never seen that before, where a villain just kind of just can just go. He goes into the Kamehameha,
Yeah.
and he comes out on the other end to just like, just clock him in the face. So I thought that
Yep.
was pretty cool. Um, but there was the only thing that I didn't necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of things that I didn't really like about the fight, but um, well, I guess we'll talk about Goku afterwards. So I want to talk about Goku after this.
Okay.
After we talk about the fight, what do you think about the fight?
It was all right. Like it was to me, it was okay. It wasn't great, but I thought like Beerus versus Goku was better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I thought, especially when Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan,
Mm-hmm.
I think Cooler looks badass, to be honest, in his final form. I think Cooler
Mm-hmm.
looks super badass, and 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 yeah, I mean, I thought the animation was fine, but I felt like when Goku turned Super Saiyan, they kind of tried a little too hard to make it look like when he fought Frieza, because that was the
Mm-hmm.
exact same pose that he was in when he turned Super Saiyan, and like he looked at Frieza, right, and Frieza looked at him, and Frieza was like, oh, he was terrified because it was a Super Saiyan right before him, and they kind of tried to play on that as well. That pose where the camera goes from the bottom up, right,
Yeah.
and Goku's looking straight at Cooler, and again, it's like it never. It felt like this was that moment of Mom, can we have the Frieza saga? Mom says, we have the Frieza saga at home. This is the Frieza saga at home type of
Yeah.
thing. They tried too hard to make certain things feel like Frieza-ish, but Cooler doesn't want to be Frieza. Like he almost doesn't even he doesn't care for Frieza. He literally says he doesn't care for Frieza, that he would have killed him himself. But he does it to avenge their name, like, so they don't stain their name. But yeah, the fight was decent. It was decent. But then again, it was just like, we go back to what I said earlier, is like, how in the world did this man survive that blast? Because I mean, we can assume he survives if there's going to be a sequel to this. And it looked like he got disintegrated. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he literally, his ball like took him to like, didn't he, like, what was the thing that he went up, like, it almost felt like he got crushed by like,
yeah, dude,
2 giant balls, right? Like,
right.
It was his ball, and then it was what, the sun, or what was that?
It looked like it.
Yeah, something sun looking like.
Yeah, like, and his blaster, or that type of spirit bomb you're talking about, it looked a lot like a spirit bomb, but not a. It was like, that shit looked like it was gonna destroy the world, and the fact that he took it, and it looks like, since he's gonna come back, obviously he just ate that thing for breakfast. He's just gonna come back in the next one, so I felt like they could have gotten if they were already thinking, oh, we're gonna make a Cooler's Return, like a sequel, they could have got a little more creative. Like, Goku kind of almost kills him, but he doesn't. Almost how they did with Piccolo at the end, where like you think Piccolo's dead, but then you see the special beam cannon that destroys Thausa, and then you see, just like that, right at the end, right after that, you see Piccolo like at the waterfall, and it's like, oh, okay, he's still alive. I thought they could have done something like that with Cooler, and it would have made more sense, like, for him to have a sequel. But yeah, you said you want to talk about Goku. What is it, dude?
The last thing about that fight, though, what I would say is that last part of the film, it confused the shit out of me, where Cooler starts talking as he's getting annihilated. And I'm like, why did you add this beast in here? I'm like, well, why was this necessary? And like, he's talking to himself about like, I could have killed him, blah, blah, blah. And I wrote this, I'm like, I'm confused right now. Like, what does this even mean? Like,
it
almost felt like they're adding, there was a, I think there was an attempt to have like a plot twist there, I think. I'm not sure if there was a plot twist or just like a explanation.
It was too late at that point.
Weird.
Maybe
it was too late, and it was a little weird, because why would he be doing that as he's about to get, like, those are his dying words, like,
right?
Like, those are his dying words, and that part seemed a little weird to me.
It was maybe them trying to add a little more to the story. I don't know, because the story itself wasn't ridiculous, right? Like we said earlier, it was Cooler trying to avenge his brother, and like, not even really avenge his brother. It was more just for the family.
Which begs the question of like, is there other families that are like judging other families about who's getting killed by who? I mean,
yeah, exactly. I'm
who's
pretty
the
sure
other family that is like looking at him like, did you hear about Frieza getting killed by a Saiyan?
Yeah, bro, despicable. Disgraceful.
Disgraceful. Who's saying that's a Frieza's family?
To King Cold? Yeah, bro.
Let's see who that is.
Yeah, dude. Like, and does Frieza have other brothers? You feel me? Like, is Cooler the only one?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a woman Frieza, which I would love. I don't even know if Frieza is a woman. Is Frieza a woman?
Nah, that's a guy, dude.
Is it?
It's a guy, dude. Because that's why Cooler says his little brother.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, dude, that whole dynamic, it would be fun. Like, I know that Dragon Ball sticks with like Goku and Vegeta, and primarily Goku, but especially like in Super and in the later films, or like the later episodes of the series, like they stick with Vegeta and Goku. But they have other characters that if they dove into, like, I would be all for it. I'd be interested in seeing. And yeah, that's a conversation for another time. But Anyways, dude, I'm eager to hear what you got to say about Goku, because obviously Goku's my guy.
Yeah, it's your guy. Yeah, I know.
So let's hear it.
There was a weird piece in this film that I didn't really understand why they chose this. It even starts from the very beginning where he's like, "Oh, let's go camping," which is hella out of character because we've never heard him ever say let's go
Never,
camping.
ever.
So he wants to be around nature. There was this almost like this message about animals in nature. You even mentioned it too, of like, oh, animals. That's never been referenced ever in my, like, at least to my knowledge, that
That's
like
true,
animals have that. And there's the scene where like he finally gets the sensu bean, I think, and then like he picks up the bird and the bird is like dying and then he
Right.
heals it. And
Huh.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's true.
when the hell did he get this power? Like, and like, why is he so like and there's a scene where there's like a bunch of animals around him, and
Right.
like,
Wait,
and
hold
they're
up.
like,
And when Goku's like on his deathbed, because I mean, it looks like the dude's about to die. He's like, Gohan, did you check on the animals? Or he says something
yeah,
like that. You know, did you check on the animals? And then he even asks him like, how's Icarus? Right.
yeah.
I
And
didn't make much of it. I'm not gonna lie, until now that you bring it up.
it was just such a weird turn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a Jesus moment type of deal. That's kind of what it felt like, where he's just like an all-knowing, all-powerful being.
Right.
And I didn't really like it because it's not who Goku is, in my opinion. He's never asked anyone about, hey, how's the bunny doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, he cares about people, but it's such a weird character turn that I'm like, there's something off here, because since when has he loved animals this much? And to the point where I'm telling you, that scene was hella weird, because I'm like, he's dying, and then he has like a bunny next to him. He has like a deer, I think, and like some other
and then you
animals
see all
that are
the
consoling
like,
him.
yeah, and yeah, it's true. I didn't really make much of it. It looks like Jesus,
Merry
Noah.
Christmas, by the way. Yeah,
Merry Christmas. I guess it's
Noah. Yeah, Noah.
like,
Yeah,
right. This is like Noah's Ark here, and maybe that's what they were going for, man. Maybe Akira was going through the a religious experience at the time, because there's even that moment where Goku is like in the water and the water is parted because of Cooler's blast, you know.
oh yeah,
And he's,
that's how the movie begins too, right? Where he's like practicing the Kamehameha, which is
yeah,
funny that that if you look at that scene, like he's doing the Kamehameha from the level of Master Roshi's house, but the waves were above Master Roshi's house. So that would mean that Master Roshi's house could be underwater.
right. And if not, then that's a mega tsunami that's about to hit, dude. That is
Exactly.
not safe. That's a very devastating natural disaster. Yeah, that's interesting. Goku did have like a different, you know, we talk about vibes here. He had a different vibe in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like from the get-go, the going camping, like being with nature, and then like how he is with the animals when he brings that bird back to life, and like he's talking to Gohan, like, you know, Gohan, how's Icarus? I don't know if it's to Krillin or to Gohan. He asked him to check on the animals. Yeah, it's true. Like he had a different vibe. He wasn't. I mean, he was. There were points where he's the same old like jolly like do-gooder Goku, or like that kind of the Goku we all know, but throughout the series it was just like a different vibe. I don't know what they were really trying to say, like you said. You know, maybe it was they were trying to make it seem like this man is you know, Jesus, Big J,
Yeah, I
or
don't know if that's
or
what they're
Noah,
alluding to.
or something, right? Like, but
Yeah, he's
yeah, it
like
had
super
different vibes.
passionate about. He's super passionate about the environment, and I'm like, what? When did he become like an environmental like, activist? Because like, there's a part where he turns Super Saiyan and he's talking to Cooler in the middle of a fight, and he's just like, you murdered millions, and and like you've murdered all these things that have never done anything to you, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? This is the first time we've ever seen Cooler. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
how do you have this context?
For all I know, he has no bodies on his resume, dude.
So, I didn't see no bodies.
Yeah, me neither.
People didn't even die. So
Exactly. I mean, except for Piccolo, like he didn't kill Piccolo technically, but he did give him that old Frieza, the same thing Frieza gave Vegeta in the series. But yeah, definitely the movie, like I said, I thought it was the best version of an Android 13, like that type of template. Its best version. Like the story wasn't ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? But there were pieces there that were very redeeming, you know, and I was, you know, and I was liking, but you know, what do you say we get into these reviews here, what the people have to say? Because from what we understood, and one of the reviewers said, this was one of the movies to watch.
Oh yeah, no, and if you go online, this is revered as one of the greatest movies of all time. We'll start out here with Dove. Though short, Cooler's Revenge is arguably the best DBZ film out there.
What?
Cooler is just like Frieza, calculating, maniacal, an incredible villain that, combined with his henchmen, leads to an incredible action sequence that rivals none in the DBZ film realm.
Damn, dude.
There's not much of a story going on here,
Facts.
but it's all implied. So it's like, so if you're caught up, it's potent. Has
That's
great
the thing, though. If you're caught up,
film.
And even we were caught up, bro. And I wasn't like, I don't know, the story wasn't checking off the boxes for me. But it's funny how like you could watch one thing and just interpret it a different way than someone else. You know what I'm saying? The man or woman, you know, said that's the greatest DBZ movie out there.
All right, I'm gonna keep going here because the sentiment is the sentiment continues.
Okay.
It's by Morgan. Better than Dragon Ball Evolution by a long shot.
Come on.
fun and action-packed cartoon. DBZ at its best. All right, final one that's positive. This is one of the best, if not the best, Dragon Ball Z film. I want to see it in theaters, but until then, I'll watch it online. Nonetheless,
theaters,
it's a great film with voice actors, soundtrack, and plot. That's by Joseph.
You know.
Okay, so that's one of the bigger sentiments, but I do have one that's not so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not so
positive.
I guess you would say positive. Cooler's Revenge. This is by aspiring creator. Cooler's Revenge, otherwise known as the Incredible Mightiest versus the Mightiest, or just Movie 5, is a movie that honestly, to me, encapsulates a lot of the problems that early Dragon Ball movies suffered from. Its villain is an incredibly dull retread of Frieza without any of the traits that made him a great character. The fight scenes, while beautifully animated, have barely any substance to them. And if you choose to watch it dubbed, you get some of the most awkward line reads by an OG Funimation cast. It has some qualities that the animation looks really great. The music from Shunsuke Kikuchi.
Come on, bro. I know you're fluent in Japanese.
My Japanese ain't it, y'all. And certainly Cooler himself has become a staple of many Dragon Ball games and other expanded materials. But aside from that, the movie is just
Yep. Facts. I agree. I agree with that last one. It was just an extended episode that's a filler episode in the series to me. Like, and it almost doesn't make sense. But you know, like I said, it's funny how we could watch something and just it hits different with everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like people will just get they'll just interpret something, they'll consume something completely different. They'll come to a different conclusion. But yeah, dude, let me hear it.
I think these, some of these reviews, I read them and I'm like, God, we're just giving out 5 stars just because we want to give them 5 stars. Like, it's not.
You know what's funny? Is
every film that we do, everybody's like, this is the best one.
Right. Like Android 13 had some fire reviews, and I was like, what?
What is that?
Dude, but you know what we're going to have to do, I think, what's going to be interesting is when we come to the end of this ride, we're going to have to rank our our top films. Yep.
Yeah, tier list.
Because I want to hear what you have to say. Because we've seen a lot of fodder movie, a lot of, in my opinion, not great quality movies, but there have been some movies that I've enjoyed, and then, I really, they passed the vibe check.
Yep.
Uh, but what do you give this one, dude? Out of 7 Dragon Balls, what are you giving this?
This one's a tough one because I really love Piccolo in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to me he's giving it a couple of stars that otherwise wouldn't be
Are
there. And I like that,
unwarranted.
and I did like that, and I'm telling you I like that middle part where he's sneaking around Gohan. So because I enjoyed that, and I thought that some of the fighting with Cooler was kind of cool, I'm gonna give this a 4.
Yep.
I'm gonna give this a 4. It's better to me than Slug. It's better to me than Fusion for sure. It's not better than Bardock in my opinion, or the other
Wrath
ones
of the
that I've.
Dragon.
Yeah, it's not in the upper tiers. It's in the lower. It's barely. It's at the. It's at like.
It's right in the middle, bro. It's right in the middle.
Yeah, it's in the middle. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 as well. I was right there. Like, I think if you're a Dragon Ball fan, go ahead and give it a watch. Like, you got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? There are other movies I would recommend before this one, but but yeah, give this one a watch so you'll get familiar with Cooler's character and you'll see some interesting tidbits. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And although one thing I do have to say is, what the hell happened to Oolong when Cooler and the squad came down?
Oh yeah.
He was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
No, you know what I'm saying?
With him.
Huh?
He was camping with him.
Yeah.
Gone. He's out of here.
Gone. That's why I like him though, dude. He's terrible, like last place when it comes to fighting, but he's number 1 when it comes to survivability, along with Hercule, Jocko, and fucking Jirobe. But yeah, I give it a 4 out of 7 Dragon Balls. I think like I said, you could watch it right in the middle. Agree with you. And we'll see how, what's going to be interesting is if we can see if Cooler's return ties to this, or if it's like, we're going to see if it's on some bullshit or if it somehow ties to this movie. Right?
Well, interestingly enough, I mean, people liked it enough for it to become a sequel. So, I mean, there's that part too, that there was something there for people that they were like, oh, let's keep going.
Yeah. And I'm surprised, like,
I want to see where they take it.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I'll talk more about this later, but I'm surprised they would be surprised that this is going to hit, just because Frieza's such a popular character. Anything related to Frieza, I think, is always going to be like, it's going to be popular. But yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Okay,
let's do it. All right, well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. Let us know if you've watched the movie, what you thought about it, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if it was just kind of mad to you. Pardon me. Yeah, let us know what your thoughts were on it, and give us any suggestions, any feedback, any movies maybe you recommend for us to watch, because we have a list, but maybe you recommend one, and we get to it before any of the other movies we had planned. So yeah, we'll leave our Twitter handles down in the description below.
Also, the links to your podcast platforms too. So
yep, links.
You can go to our YouTube page and then you'll find the links there too.
Yep, and you can catch us on all the different podcast platforms. Listen to us. If you listen to this on Apple, give us a review. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we can improve on. I think 2021 we're gonna have some improvements. I'm certainly, like I spoke not last week, the week before, I'm looking to get a laptop that's gonna enhance this editing. So yeah, we're excited to see what 2021 got in store for us. 2020 has been good, dude. I would say it's been good. Like, we kind of started this just for the hell of it, and now, like, obviously you posted, we got over 1,000 listens. I just never, it doesn't, like, I guess you don't think about it when you're just talking, but it's cool. So I'm excited to see where we'll be like a year from now, so
for sure,
thank you guys for going on riding along with us. We're just getting
Yeah,
started, and
for sure.
Happy New Year to all of you guys, and happy holidays.